All right, friends. So great. So good evening, everybody. Great having you all here. And I can see many of you already have a lot of interest in psychology and psychology-based subject. So I know there's a lot of curiosity whenever we take up a workshop and we join an introductory session. Inside us, there is always a need to, first of all, know whether I'm going to be talking for 1 hour and then giving you all an exorbitant figure for the fee, which you all can't join and things like that. So let me upfront tell you that as compared to the many industry courses in coaching, which are ranging around 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees and which are giving you all those alternatives to only coaching step 1, step 2, step 3. This course is not close to 1 lakh, but it's not even a zero at 10,000. We are somewhere in between. I will be giving you all the figure. You all can pay in installments. So all those who are basically curious whether it's affordable, it's very affordable. And you all will be able to do it. So that is satisfying your curiosity, because I don't want to be somebody who keeps you waiting right till the end. So our course fees is very simple, and it is definitely below 50,000 rupees, and you all will be able to do basic and advanced level. And we will be teaching you everything, hand holding you for a year after that. And there's mentoring support, and there is senior therapist groups available. So having said that, I just wanted you all to, not be curious for that. So let me now come to uh, myself and introducing of metaphor therapy. So friends, I'm Kirti Bakshi, and I have been into this field for 25 years. And I have done my master's in psychology. And then I went on to do master's in psychotherapy as well. And my background goes back 30 years, which is very long story. To cut it short, when I passed out, I did not have skills. I wanted to do work. I also was doing behavior theater, and I was having access to children for counseling. But when I actually sat down for my first counseling session, there was a lot of nervousness as to how the flow of the therapy is going to be. I knew nothing about how the flow is going to be. And I really realized what a shortcoming I had by not knowing skills. It was then that my journey of learning skills started, and I learned every possible technique under the sun at that time. That we had CBT, we had REBT, we had client-centered therapy, we had the psychoanalytical therapies, we had transaction analysis. I learned all of those. And after I learned all of those, I realized that, I still needed something even more transformative. I was using all of that, and it was very fulfilling, but I needed something more transformative. And that's when I went towards hypnotherapy. I learned hypnotherapy as well, and I taught hypnotherapy for 12 long years. I have my own clinic and practice in Mumbai. And after learning hypnotherapy, the next thing I wanted to do is, I was so fascinated by the results I got, by the way, the impact that it created. And I started teaching hypnotherapy for 12 long years. I was teaching hypnotherapy. However, after integrating everything that I had learned and doing very successful work, I decided that there's still a diagnostic tool I was missing. And I happened to chance upon some European trainers doing drawing analysis with children. In that was a school where my children went to. It was called as a Steiner School. And I wanted to find out how did they analyze drawings, and they were very, very accurate at it. So I wanted to find out how did they analyze, and I was doing a research analyst job also at Research Archives that maintained research archives for History Channel. So I had access to the best possible research material. So while my hypnotherapy workshops were on the weekend and all my hypnotherapy clients were taken in the evenings, I was in the daytime working, and I wanted to research, and I started researching simple withdrawing analysis. And when I researched withdrawing analysis, I figured out that it's a best way to reach somebody's subconscious. And that took my journey on to metaphors. I realized that drawing analysis, as we call it, is just a part of the big world of metaphors. And that metaphors is a very, 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 very small part of projective psychology. All right, so I'll repeat myself. Drawing analysis is a small part of metaphors, and metaphors is a small part of projective psychology. Now let's look at what is projective psychology. So you have two very strong schools of psychology. You have the Freudian school of psychology, which is called as a psychoanalytical school. And then you have the Jungian school, which is called as a projective psychology school. So Jungian schools always address projections, and Freudian schools always address psychoanalysis. So as I was learning, our primary education was in Freudian psychology. But when I discovered Jungian psychology, I thought that's where my calling is. And that's where I actually found impact in my work. So I started learning more and more of Jungian psychology. So what actually turned my entire belief system around was one statement. I was reading this book called The Man and His Symbols by Carl Jung. So just to tell you all, there are two versions. There is a very long version, it's a very thick book, and there's an abridged version. So I took up the abridged version and I was reading that. And in that, Carl Jung has said that the man stores information in the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind knows no language, right? I'll repeat myself. We store information which is meaningful to us along our lifetime. We keep on going through experiences, and those experiences are distilled and stored in our subconscious mind, which is 8 times more powerful than the conscious mind. And that subconscious mind knows no language. So then, how does it store information? It stores information in the forms of images. And these images are called as metaphors. So whenever we are talking, we are using a lot of metaphors. For example, you will have a client come in and say, my life is like a merry-go-round. Somebody will say, I feel I'm just like in a desert, which is like hot and arid and it's never ending. Some people might come and tell you that I feel drained. Some people might come and tell you, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells. These are all metaphors. These are all expressions coming from the subconscious. Now, for someone who tells you that I feel that I'm walking on eggshells, tells you a lot about what's going on around them, as to how cautious they have to be, as to how delicate the situation around them is, as to how much on the guard they have to be, as to how they don't have a free space to walk and to express themselves. Just by this one statement, you get to get so much information. Now, if I was to ask the client more about walking on eggshells, it would give me access to so much more information. And that's called as verbal metaphors. So now you have 3 types of metaphors. You have the drawing metaphor, which is called as the visual metaphor, which is when people draw drawings, it will give you a direct access to their subconscious mind. Direct. Like in the first 5 minutes that the client is sitting with you, you can look at their drawing. Of course, there are instructions as to what to draw, which we will be sharing. And when they draw, I have done cases in which, the client has given me a 1-hour narrative, but when I look at their drawing and I'm like, no, it kind of doesn't match. Your drawing is telling me this. And sometimes they're surprised and like, yeah, this is exactly what is happening in my life, but I just couldn't put it in words. In many ways that I'm trying to tell you the same things. So one is the visual metaphor called as the drawing analysis, which is going to have 2 parts, the color psychology as well as the elemental psychology. So drawing analysis, part 1 of metaphor, verbal metaphor, part 2 of metaphor, projective techniques, part 3 of metaphor, and imaginary metaphors, part 4 of metaphor. We are also going to be looking at the latest therapies to integrate with metaphor. So these are some of the contents of metaphor therapy that I used And then I benefited and my therapies went viral and people started coming to me only for drawing analysis. And I figured out, no, that's not the entire thing. And I would like to teach it in a complete way, not just one part of it. And that's when I formulated a training session. And my first training session dates back to 18 years ago in a hotel at Andheri, where some of my hypnotherapy friends came to learn from me. And then we went on, and I've up till now, I've trained more than 5,000 to 6,000 metaphor therapists. I travel across to India, to Dubai, to Hong Kong, and I teach these workshops. Nowadays, mainly they are online. So this was my journey into learning metaphors. And now I formulated it into a course and I'm teaching it since 18 years. And this is how metaphor therapy came into being. Now the bigger question, does it belong only to me? No, it doesn't. There's metaphor therapy books written. If you will Google out, you will see lots of books on metaphor therapy. Metaphor therapy is being researched as a language pattern, as people's expression, and the use of metaphors in psychotherapy. You have some very huge literature written on it. The research findings say that we are using one metaphor in every 4 sentences, but we are not aware of it. And sometimes these metaphor holds information to a whole lot of subconscious happenings. And if the metaphor therapist happens to pick on those and develop those and work with those and substitute the changes in the metaphor, the change in the client behavior or client concern is very, very transformative. So this is what we are working in the world of field of metaphors about. So there's a lot that's going on. Milton Erickson uses metaphors a lot in his work. I don't know if you all know about Milton Erickson, but he was the person who actually brought in conversational hypnosis, which led on to later on clinical hypnosis. These are all the names that have contributed a lot. And if you look at neuro-linguistic programming, primarily 80% of neuro-linguistic programming makes use of metaphors. If you look at hypnotherapy, we tend to change images. We bring up memories in the form of images, then we want to change those images. Once again, hypnotherapy uses metaphors. So lots of therapies are having metaphor at the foundation level. So if we know about working with metaphor, it's very, very empowering for all of us to work. And with every technique, you will be able to integrate because it's the basis. Metaphors is the very basis of therapy. If you know your basics very well, you can evolve almost a new technique every day. That's how creative you can get with your work. So this is metaphor therapy, and I'm going to be teaching this workshop once again in September, and the dates I will share with you all. I think I have already put them on the group. So metaphor therapy is a workshop which is going to be a 30 hours program in which we are going to take you through the basic level and the advanced level. And 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, then we have a class on Thursday, then we have a Saturday, Sunday, and then we have 5 Thursday classes, which is Thursday evening, 7:30 to 9:30. That's how it is. Following the course, you will be added to an advanced group where there are senior therapists who are practicing. From next month onwards, we are going to be having a practice batch which meets once a month and practices everything that we have taught in metaphor, and they practice on one another and get a feedback as to how they are doing. So those of us who are not actively practicing will get that kind of a practice. So this is all about metaphor therapy, and this is all about the workshop that we are going to be having. Having said that, I'd like to take you all through the broad field of how the mental health field is. Is everybody practicing? Put on the chat yes or no. If you are practicing, write practicing. If you are not practicing, write new. Please, I'd like to get your messages on the chat. Is everyone here practicing or new? All right, Shubham is new. Others, please. Shruti practicing, Rania new. Yes, please go on, friends. That's the only way I know you all are listening. I know you all are there. Manoj is new. Ravindra is new. Go on. Namrata is new. Sujata is new. Great. Shilpi is new to this field. Yes. Please go on. I would like to hear from everybody, all those who are here practicing. Sorry, I have some work. I have to leave the meeting. Okay, Sujata, no problem. I'll share the recording. All right. So some of you are, okay, some of you are new, some of you are practicing. So the practicings are few and new are more. So I can understand your curiosity of being here. So let's talk to the people who are new. Sushma, you said no, I do not know. What does that mean? You're not practicing. Okay, fine. So now, the people who are new, for them, I would like to show you all the power of the mental health field. I'm sure interest brings you here, but maybe you need to know a little more about this field. And I'm going to be sharing a PowerPoint now, and I'm going to be explaining to you all how the field works and how the field is today divided into different categories and where you can position yourself. Is that good? Would you all like to know, the people who are new, would you all like to know more about the field? Please answer in your chat boxes. Would you all like to know more? Yes, Shilpi would like to know more. Yes, Rania would like to know more. Great. All right. So let me share my PowerPoint with you all and just give me a moment. Yes, we are here and I'm sharing my PowerPoint with you all. I would not take long, but I will do the necessary information sharing with you all. Right, friends. So we are here on metaphor therapy. So let's look at the mental health broad categories. For those who are new, just pay attention to what this is. So in this mental health field, which is really right now at its absolute peak. So for those who enter now, it's a brilliant golden opportunity to make your footing very strong, because the awareness level, the government initiatives, the school initiatives, the organizational initiatives around it are huge. So we have an organized sector, which is the psychiatrist, counseling psychologist, clinical psychologist, and psychotherapist. These are the people who enter this field by the virtue of having chosen to be educated in this field. Now we have on the side another sector which has emerged in the last 30 to 40 years is the unorganized sector, where you have the healers, the crystal healers, the angel healers, the theta healers, Reiki healers, pranic healers, and chakras. So this is the unorganized sector, but all of them have one single aim and goal, that is to bring peace, clarity to the human mind and to serve humankind in such a way that to make them, give them the joy that they truly deserve in their life. Then you have the therapist segment, which is also a fast evolving segment, in which you have hypnotherapist, past life regression therapist, family constellation therapist, cognitive behavior therapist, client-centered therapy, and psychoanalysts. So these are the segments which are now evolving. And the fastest one of those is the next segment, which I'm about to talk about, is the coaches. So coaching is one segment which is rapidly expanding. And the coaches, you have life coach, you have corporate coach, relationship coach, personal excellence coach, holistic coach, spiritual coach, NLP coach, child coach, whatever area or your niche you choose to specialize into, coaching is the place where a person with logical thinking will go. Energy and healing is a place where somebody who has a lot of intuition capacity and wants to work with energies will go into healing. And those who want to be in between the two will go into therapy, because therapy space is in between coaching and healing. So if you are not coming from the organized sector, then you need to enter in either through the healing sector or through the therapy sector or through the coaching sector. So now the typical question asked is, what are the government regulations to call yourself a psychologist? So the government regulations to call yourself a psychologist are that you have to have done a master's in psychology to call yourself a counseling psychologist, and a PhD to call yourself a clinical psychologist. That's a government regulation. However, what is the regulation on calling yourself a healer or a coach? As such, no regulations. If you've done your basic life skill coaching and an NLP coaching or a metaphor coaching, you can call yourself a life coach, and you can use different kind of modalities under that. The biggest certification, of course, comes from ICF, Indian Coaching Federation, International Coaching Federation, which is an Australia-based body, and they run courses and certification at PCC, MCC levels, and they are pretty expensive. They are, I think, somewhere to complete the whole thing is around 10 to 12 lakhs if you do all the levels. And but that gives you international recognition, but that allows you to work in corporates. However, corporates are the only people who are looking at ICF certification. When you are going as a life coach to your client at that point, what matters is your skill set and your coaching basic training. So NLP and metaphor training will empower you to become a coach, a holistic coach, and work in that segment. And then you can continue to add more and more techniques to your work. If you are a psychologist, wonderfully placed because you already have what it takes to enter in and step in, and then you got to enhance your skills. I have been going to colleges like Mithibai, KC, Jai Hind, and I have been teaching students over there. And just like me, I realized that what I'm practicing today has got nothing to do with what I studied. I'm not saying that you shouldn't study, but the point is when I learned through the way mediums of workshops, the skills, that's what is really working in my therapy. The rest of it empowers my understanding. So a small course in psychology would be interesting. But at the same time, toolkit. What are your tools? What are the tools you're going to use with your client? Let's say you know everything about anxiety. Your client comes and says, I have anxiety. But what would you do in the session to make them anxiety free? That empowerment is going to come from techniques that you're going to learn. So this is how the segment is. Very well placed, very, very blooming segment, right on top of everyone's priority list. I have young children who are my clients. I have children from IIT, like one tells the other, tells the other. And at this point of time, I'm counseling 10 IIT students. So it's just like a wildfire, it spreads. I've never ever advertised my coaching work because, one will tell the other, will tell the other, and that's how you will develop your clientele. So if you are looking at entering and making an impact, now is the time. And this is a good course to begin with. So I don't need you to come from a psychology background. I will teach you the necessary basics as required during the course itself. You don't need to come from a psychology background. But if you do, you will enjoy. You will be able to fit in a lot of it with what you have read. Otherwise, I will be empowering you all with enough reading material post the course, a complete book, as well as the complete recordings of the workshops. And you're also allowed to repeat for free the next class. If you, however, come after 6 months, you might have to pay, but the next class you're allowed to repeat for free. So this is the mental health field in broad categories. Does anybody have a question? Please ask now about this. Let's take questions. So unmute yourself and ask a question, please. Any questions, friends?
So you spoke about projective drawing.
Yeah.
That is what we use in art therapy as well.
True.
The HTP and
HTAP and draw house person. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have been doing a lot of metaphor drawings, which is with the fingers.
Okay.
But do you help in the analysis of those drawings as well?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Any kind
The
of
hand paintings with which I tell my clients to work with the hand and paint. And
yes,
actually,
you'll be
I
able to
really
analyze them.
all right. And is this course like only on 28th, 29th onwards? Because I cannot do it on those specific days.
Right now, these are the dates. Yeah, right now, these are the dates.
So
Huh.
is there any other option?
Right now, no, but I will be announcing one later on because after this, I have a family constellation training coming up. And then we'll be announcing. However, you will be on our database. Your name,
Okay.
please?
Namrata Kanwar.
Namrata, just send me a personal message. I'll add you to my database.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Great. Thanks. Anybody else with a
Thanks, ma'am.
question? I'm not here only to make you all join Metaphor Therapy. Let's have a chat this evening about what are your thoughts, what are your doubts, what you want to know about mental health. I'm experienced, and whatever my experience allows, I will definitely help you all in any queries. You don't only have to talk about this workshop. Let's talk about the coaching industry on the whole. Any other questions, friends? All right. So we go on to what is metaphor therapy. As I've already said, the subconscious mind stores information in forms of images, and these images continuously give out a charge that impacts our decisions, behaviors, and personalities. These images are known as metaphors, and metaphor therapy deals to bring these suppressed images to surface and substitute them to change the resultant behavior and personality. Is so much clear to everybody what is a metaphor? Please write a yes in the chat box or no. Is it clear what metaphor is and what metaphor therapy aims to do? If you
Very
understood,
clear.
please write yes. All right. I'm waiting to hear from you all in the chat box because otherwise I'll be talking to a computer screen if I don't hear from you all. Wonderful. Great. So let's go on to the next slide. I think I saw a message somewhere. All right, fine. Vidya says not exactly. Vidya, have you joined in a bit late? Vidya? Vidya, are you in a position to answer us?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I joined in middle.
You joined in a bit late. Let me share the recording, but I will also explain it to you.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. So Leona says, could you also say the difference between Freud and Jung projection? So, okay. So this is an interesting question. So Freud used to always say, go by the spoken word, and Jung said, go by the shown images. So if I would say my life is like a roller coaster, a Freudian therapist will ask the question, tell me more about your life. And a Jungian therapist will ask a question, tell me more about the roller coaster. Leona, is that clear?
Very, very clear. It's really.
Right. Great.
Thank you.
So what will you be learning in this course? First of all, this is going to be your stepping into the mental health sector. It's going to give you a unique opportunity to call yourself a coach and get into the industry, how to establish yourself and get clients and all. I'll be telling you what I did, and then you all can take it forward from there. So you will be learning drawing analysis, color psychology, projective healing techniques. These are the techniques in which the client is asked to put something away from them on a surface, which is an image. That image is then dealt with. You'll be learning verbal metaphor. You will be learning imaginary metaphor, letting go of the past, trauma
You
release,
meet on your own, I'll shower.
and
What happens
acceptance
now?
and commitment therapy. Hi guys, can you unmute yourself, please?
Seriously? Sir, एक बार taste करना salt ज़्यादा है?
1 sec, let me just
Is it
mute.
salt or is it very sour? Lemon है थोड़ा. नींबू डाल दो, वो डाल दो.
Okay. Now, what do you all want to, have you all heard acceptance and commitment therapy? Anyone? Anyone's heard about acceptance and commitment therapy? Say yes or no. No. Leona has not heard about it. No. Okay. Right. So now you see the field of psychology is changing. Okay. So from going into regressive therapies, now there are two new techniques that have come up, which are rapidly catching the attention of psychologists, and there's a lot of research being done on it. That's called as projective psychology, positive psychology, and acceptance and commitment therapy. So positive psychology is a field of psychology which is rapidly catching attention, wherein they empower the client to look at the positives of your life. And it's a whole new field of psychology. And then you have acceptance and commitment therapy, which is a whole new field. So acceptance and commitment therapy is something that you can do using metaphors. And we are going to teach you the entire premise of acceptance and commitment therapy using metaphors, right? You're going to learn picture strip projections, which is how do you analyze pictures that have been decoded by the client. You're going to learn the blob tree, 6 steps of ACT, and career choices using metaphor, closure therapy, grieving therapy. All these are going to come into metaphors. So once a client comes to you, has lost the loved one, how do you do the closure therapy with them? Has lost a relationship, how do you do? Is living into a past life, past memories, how do you bring them out of it? Is carrying a baggage of the past, how do you let go of them? Is having a confusion about their careers, how do you help them sort that out? So what support will I get after the workshop? You will have a WhatsApp group support for practicing for 1 month, and then continued support after that. You will have practice groups, and you will have guidance to take your counseling and coaching career forward. I will also be introducing you all to my social media team, who will be guiding you all as to how to build yourself up on the social platform. They'll take a separate workshop with you all and guide you all how to take your work forward. How will this workshop help me in my practice? So first of all, it will help you to sharpen your diagnostic, development, and closure techniques. Now, this sounds alien. What is this? To a newcomer, what is this? So let me tell you, whenever you have a client, you are going to have 3 segments to your session, which are not clearly defined, but there are these 3 things that necessarily happen in a therapy. Number 1 is a diagnostic. Number 2 is processing. Now that you've diagnosed, you're trying to work around it, you need to process it. Then the processing, and after that is the closure. So all these 3 techniques will be sharpened. Already you must be using some things, but this will add on. Hands-on practice of each process and the ability to make your sessions more impactful. So I'll give you hands-on practice for every technique. There's nothing that's going to be taught to you and I'm going to lecture and close. No, you will be practicing every technique. Then different therapy techniques for different client concerns. You're going to learn 16 different therapy techniques, which is overall some diagnostic, some closure, some development. You will have greater confidence in your therapeutic skills. You will have motivation to establish yourself as a coach, as a counselor, or a therapist. And you will have the ability to understand other modalities very, very well. So I believe somebody who has done NLP and metaphor therapy is a very empowered therapist. Trust me, I say this on basis of my experience and not because I'm teaching metaphor therapy. I no longer teach hypnotherapy, but I say it's a beautiful thing to learn. So for all of those who are looking to jump into this new era and the golden moment, which is going to unfold to you a new career option, many of us will do it by going haywire. Many of us will do it by developing a system. Many of us will do it by taking guidance from somebody who's in the field. End of the day, we all want to have empowering practices, right? And this is your moment to step in through this work and then expand the horizons to endless opportunities that are going to open up for you all. It enables understanding of other modalities, and you are also going to learn to script your own therapy scripts. Some of the other courses which are taught by the counseling company, that's the company I am under the banner of the counseling company. We teach NLP practitioner, master level, hypnotherapy, past life regression, complete course, child psychology and play therapy, basic and advanced psychology, complete course in hypnotherapy, professional career guidance program, Family and Systemic Constellation Facilitator course, Relationship Workshop, Parenting Reflections, Self-Hypnosis and Personal Transformations. So these are all the courses we keep announcing from time to time, but one thing that's constant is metaphors. Now costing and duration, and I'm giving you frank costing. Yeah.
I
You
want
have
to ask, do you also teach Rorschach inkblot?
Rorschach ink block is not to be done if you are not a clinically certified.
Okay.
You need a license to do Rorschach.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So life coaching certification is ICF certified, and the whole fee structure for the basic courses level 1 and 2 is 3,50,000. NLP coaching, from what I have seen and I have learned, I have paid this all prices, is 20 to 80,000. Hypnotherapy, because I have been teaching it, I know the prices is 1,20,000 from level 1 to 5. Cognitive behavior therapy from affiliated institutes is 75,000. Metaphor therapy, we were teaching at 45,000 in the hotels, but since we have come online, we are teaching it at a lower price now. Basic and advanced counseling courses are 35,000. I have learned those and I've paid that money. So now we come to the offline cost, which was 45,000. The online cost is 35,000 because we don't pay to the hotels anymore. There's a discounted cost for September 2024 batch, which is 30,000, which is payable in installments. So you don't have to worry. 1 month is the course duration, friends. So you can pay one chunk now, one chunk little later, and one chunk later. If you are really having, reservations with money, I understand we all have them and we've all been through phases where we have reservations and we need to do budgeting. So you can pay it in installments. The early bird price, however, for today is 28,000 for those who commit just now. And this is not a catch. So I'm not trying to give you all, like a marketing gimmick. I'm not a marketing person. I'm a psychotherapist. I'm saying this only now, not to hurry you all and not to make you all impulsive, just to reduce my teamwork, my team's work in following up. That's about it. So if you are in a position and you made up your mind, please, you can give us a confirmation right now. Then you can cash in on the 28,000 price. Some of us can always want to first learn the basic and then go for advance. Then the basic is 14,000 and the advance is 16,000. That's also payable in installments. You can take a screenshot of this paper, of this slide. So you can take a screenshot of this and let me know if any of you have made up your mind. I do not wish to hurry anybody. I am open to answering questions. But if you have made up your mind, you can commit to us right now to lock in 28,000. Otherwise, from tomorrow, we will be taking 30,000. I just want you all to commit to lock in. That's about it. Nothing much. So anybody has questions? Let's take those now. Have you all taken a screenshot of this? Great. Has a screenshot been taken? Should I remove the slide? Please say yes if you all are ready for me to remove the slide. All right. Great. Namrata, you want to take a screenshot? Okay, just take a screenshot. All right, so I'm going to stop the sharing here. Anyways, if you all ever, I'm on the group. If you all want to contact my team and me, then these are the numbers. We have 2 scholarship seats. And, just in case you all are very, very keen student and you really, really want to learn, but somehow have restraints, we have 2 scholarship seats. You can apply them to my number individually. I will definitely be in touch with you all. All right, guys. So thank you so much. And let's go for questions now. Any questions you all have? For all those who are new please feel free to ask questions. It's not about, it's okay if you don't join the course this time. It's okay if you join it next time. It's okay if you don't join also. But I'm happy to help anybody who wants to step into this field because we require people in this field. Just we have like 20 buildings and one therapist, not enough. We require a lot of mental health workers. I know the crunch there is. So, any questions, friends?
Kirti, I just have one question.
Yeah.
Is this curriculum changed from the last time I done the course?
I don't remember, but I keep upgrading.
Yeah, because there are a lot of, like you said, different kind of therapies and all that you would be
Yes,
covering.
acceptance and commitment is added. Yeah.
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 Okay.
So I keep upgrading the course. Yeah. But this has been static for 1.5 years too now. Okay, guys, any more questions?
Ma'am, I have to ask a question. My
Yes,
name is Shubham.
Yes, Shubham, tell me, please.
Ma'am, I am planning to join this. I saw the contents that is being offered, and
Yeah.
that is very different, not found normally in, not found everywhere in India, mostly.
Right now in India,
So,
I'm the only
I,
trainer, Shubham.
okay, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah.
I'll be, applying in the scholarship seat. Mostly, I'll try to do that, ma'am.
Do that. Please do that.
Ma'am, yeah, I'm working as a career counselor.
Okay.
I have done my NCDA certification, and so I'm currently pursuing my master's in psychology as well.
Right.
And I'm working in a university where I conduct career counseling workshops in schools, helping students to realize what
Yeah, I
career
know.
is best fit for them.
Yeah.
So,
So what's your question,
yeah,
Shubham?
my question is, can this session help me in career coaching
A part of
and
it, yes. A small part
identify?
of it is dedicated to career, not the whole thing, but in clearing confusions and clearing anxieties where students are almost on a career path which they've taken up and they can't go ahead, then that's the time you work with them. But in choosing career, yes, there is one path, one technique which I will be teaching you even for careers. But rest of it is focused mainly on behavior transformations.
Okay,
Right?
so it will be helpful.
It will be helpful, definitely. Yeah, so somebody asked whether this is a basic and advanced. Yes, this fee structure is for both. 30,000 is for basic and advanced. So if anybody has made up their mind, please send me a WhatsApp right now on the group. I will be joining. So it'll help me. And those who are already here, 10 of you all are there, please message on WhatsApp group saying I attended, because that will qualify us to, take into account the discount that we are offering. Can you please write down I attended on the WhatsApp thread? That will be great. Please
What
open
do
your
we have?
phones.
Sorry. Yeah, on the WhatsApp, what am I supposed to
I
write that
attended. I attended. Just write down I
the
attended.
webinar, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank
that
you.
we know who all were there. It just saves my team a lot of work.
Okay, ma'am,